Antonio Gramsci was an early 20th century Italian philosopher and Marxist theorist, best known for his ideas about power, culture, and ideology. He argued that the ruling class maintains control not just through laws and force, but also by shaping beliefs and ideas in society. His work influenced political theory, education, and cultural studies, especially through his concept of cultural hegemony. However, Gramsci remains controversial. Some see him as a brilliant thinker who exposed hidden forms of power, while others criticize his work for promoting class conflict and undermining traditional values. One of Antonio Gramsci's most famous ideas is cultural hegemony, which describes how the ruling class maintains power by controlling culture, media, and education. He argued that instead of using force, elites shape people's beliefs so that they accept inequality as natural or even desirable. According to Gramsci, real social change requires challenging these dominant ideas and creating a new way of thinking. This idea is controversial because it suggests that even seemingly neutral institutions, like schools and newspapers, serve the interests of the powerful. Critics argue that Gramsci's theory can be used to justify political propaganda and class warfare. Others believe that he underestimated people's ability to think independently. Gramsci's idea of the role of intellectuals challenges the traditional view that intellectuals are independent thinkers. He argued that all intellectuals serve a political function, whether they realize it or not. According to him, ruling class intellectuals help maintain the status quo, while working class intellectuals should work to change it. This idea is controversial because it implies that no intellectual work is truly neutral. Critics argue that Gramsci's view turns intellectuals into political activists rather than seekers of truth. Others worry that his ideas encourage dividing society into opposing ideological camps, making dialogue and cooperation more difficult. Gramsci's concept of war of position versus war of maneuver describes two different ways to achieve social change. The war of maneuver refers to a direct, revolutionary overthrow of power, while the war of position is a slow battle to change cultural and social norms. He believed that in modern societies, a war of position, gradually changing people's beliefs, was the most effective way to challenge the ruling class. This idea is controversial because it suggests that revolutions should focus on changing ideas rather than just taking political power. Critics argue that this approach is too slow and impractical, while others worry that it encourages manipulation of culture and media for political purposes. Gramsci's idea of the state and civil society explores how governments and social institutions interact. He argued that power is not just held by governments, but also by churches, schools, businesses, and the media. These institutions help reinforce the power of the ruling class by shaping people's beliefs and behaviours. This idea is controversial because it challenges the idea that the state alone controls society. Critics argue that Gramsci's theory encourages distrust of social institutions and promotes endless political struggle. Others believe that his view oversimplifies the relationship between the government and the people, ignoring the ways in which institutions can also serve public interests. One of the most controversial aspects of Gramsci's legacy is his influence on modern left-wing movements. Many activists and scholars have used his ideas to argue for cultural and political change, especially in areas like education, media, and social justice. His work has inspired movements that seek to challenge dominant ideologies and reshape public institutions. This idea is controversial because it raises questions about whether Gramsci's philosophy leads to greater equality or simply replaces one dominant ideology with another. Critics argue that his ideas have been used to justify censorship, political correctness, and ideological control in education and media. Others believe that his theories offer valuable tools for understanding how power operates in society. Now that we have explored these key ideas, it is clear why Gramsci remains both influential and controversial. His work challenges traditional ideas about power and culture, but his approach to social change continues to spark debate about ideology, activism, and the role of intellectuals.